are talking about the gut microbiome and obesity. Yes, we're going to do this in some series of videos because there's just too much. If you don't know, I'm using a study that's talking about the role of prebiotics, probiotics, and symbiotics. And if you don't know what symbiotics are, go watch the video that got posted last time. Okay, but today we're just really going to go over the introduction, and we're going to start a little bit with the microbiome, and we're going to cut it off, and we're going to do this in series because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. Okay, so the first thing is what is obesity? Basically, if your BMI is over 30, okay? If it's between 25 and 30, you're overweight. If you're obese, it's over 30, okay? And obesity is not a good thing. It's related to cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancers. Many cancers have been linked to being overweight and obese, okay? And basically, they know a high-calorie diet is a causal factor for diabetes or for obesity, and they know that high-calorie diet also changes the microbiome. Okay, and they know that nutrition, lifestyle, and genetics all can play a role in the microbiome and bringing changes to the microbiome, okay? And they know that there are perturbations, so bad things happen with the gut microbiome that can affect the metabolic function and the energy homeostasis, okay? Okay, so what they found, this study in the introduction, they really are talking about different things, but they know that basically there's a huge relationship between the diet and your microbiome, and they know that people that have an overuse of antibiotics, that this has been linked to the onset of obesity. Okay, so that really shows us that a perturbation in the microbiome can really bring on the obesity. Okay, so that's a big thing to think about, and you'll hear even more later on in this study. Pretty shocking stuff, but this should tell you if you don't need an antibiotic, do not take them. They mess up your gut flora, and you do not recover from that. Up to 10 years it can take. And furthermore, it's clearly a causal link for obesity, right? And we know that kills a lot of the good bugs, and basically when you have a gut dysbiosis, so a bad mix of bugs, that can really increase your inflammation in the body, and that inflammation in the body really affects your ability to have a good metabolism. Okay, so another thing in the introduction they really are talking about is that the gut microbiota, it plays a role in your brain and your central nervous system, and there's like trillions of bugs in your gut, and this highway of the gut microbiome in your brain is called the second brain in your gut. And the reason is because a lot of those bugs, they make the precursors for vitamins. Some of the vitamins are only made in the gut, like and the neurotransmitters, for example, about 90% of the serotonin in the body is actually made in the gut by those microbes in the gut. Okay, and these microorganisms, they know, can directly affect the brain and the brain signals, influencing the stimulants for hunger and appetite. Okay, so the microbiome's huge. And so they are talking about in this introduction, the human microbial colonization commences at birth, and then progresses and modifies species perfusion for 3 years until it becomes the adult form of the microbiota. Okay? And they really want you to understand the gut microbiome, the human microbiota, is composed of 5 different families. These are the actinobacteria, the proteobacteria, the verrucomicrobiae, the firmicutes, and the bacteroidetes. Okay? And why do they want you to know that? The first one is because obesity has been linked to a. Okay, so let me back up just a second. The firmicutes and the bacteroidetes, these make up 90% of the microbes in your gut. These two are the hugest families. And then the other families are highly important to have as well, but the firmicutes and the bacteroidetes, these are huge part of your microbiome. But what they found in obesity is that the obese subjects tend to have a greater amount of the firmicutes than the bacteroidetes, okay? And they have a higher firmicutes to bacteroidetes ratio than individuals of normal weight, okay? And what they found is the firmicutes have been shown to have a negative proportion to resting energy expenditure, whereas the bacteroides have been shown to be positively correlated with the percentage of body fat. So what does that mean? The firmicutes, basically, if you have a higher proportion of them, you have a lower resting energy expenditure, so a lower metabolic rate. The bacteroides, the higher percentage you have of them, the less body fat you have, okay? And really, they're showing in mice, in the studies, the mice have been shown that if there's a large depletion of the Bacteroides species, that it'll lead to the mice being obese, okay? And they showed that if they add back this Bacteroides theta iota micron, that it helped protect the mice against adiposity, and that basically, even if they give them a high-fat diet, which would typically make them gain weight, if they give them these Bacteroides theta iota micron, this will help them not gain so much weight. In addition, it increased the akkermansia, okay? And we'll talk, I'm moving on to the human studies now. That was in mice. So in the human studies, they also found that the Bacteroides and in higher amounts of them in the stool was basically related to weight loss, okay? So the people that had more Bacteroides, they had better weight, right? And really, in the humans, it says microbial diversity shows a preventive effect on long-term weight gain in healthy individuals, okay? So that, I think, is why you see in antibiotics, why you have a high risk of obesity is because they wipe out much of your healthy microbiome, okay, when you take an antibiotic. And that kills the diversity. And as we just saw in this study, which was founded Many et al. In 2017, is that a good microbial diversity, it helps protect you against weight gain, okay? Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to read a little more and then we'll stop because 10 minutes is quite a bit of stuff to remember, and we'll kind of go back and we will talk about what we found. Okay, so they said here that They suggested that a dietary sucrose impacts the obesity-induced intestinal microbiota to a greater extent than even dietary fat. So they were talking about a high carbohydrate diet and a high fat diet, and it looks like both are not good, but the high sugar-based diet that led to an even worse microbial ratio in the gut. Okay, bad bacterias. Okay, so this is the last thing we're gonna say, and then we'll take a break and we'll go to video 2 because it's a lot for one video. But it said in a study of obese and lean Chinese college males, there was a negative correlation between BMI and gut microbiota diversity. Therefore, the obese male subjects had a less diverse microbiome than individuals in the lean group. In addition, the fecal microbial composition was more complex for the lean males and contained a higher ratio of Bacteroides to Firmicutes, which speaks to everything we just talked about. So let me kind of sum this up. We talked about a lot. Basically, your gut is very complex. It is called the second brain for a good reason. It's because the gut microbes, they make many of your vitamins, many of the precursors for vitamins, and they also make a lot of the precursors for the neurotransmitters, and they influence the neurohormones that are going on in the gut, as you'll see further in this study. Okay, the further we go into this study. But we know that many things can affect the gut, one of which is your diet, other is your lifestyle choices, and another is your genetics. But we do know having a diverse gut is preventative for weight gain. We know that an overuse of antibiotics has been linked to an onset of obesity. And one thing we found is that basically obese subjects tend to have a greater amount of Firmicutes species and have a higher Firmicutes to Bacteroides ratio than individuals of normal weight. Okay? Yes, and that's all we're going to talk about today. We'll talk more about why these things happen, what is the ramification, what kinds of things can help. Yes, so you want to hit a notification bell. You want to stick around in this series, watch all the videos, because this is a fascinating study, really fascinating study. And yes, I'm breaking it down for you guys, and we're learning about the microbiome and obesity. Okay? Mwah! I love you guys. Have a good night, and I will be talking with you soon. And if you could like this and subscribe, thank you. Bye.